What it do, my boy? It's your boy Wavy, Stay Wavy TV. I hope y'all staying wavy out there. Let's get it. Let's talk about some hip-hop news. So, I seen yesterday on Instagram that Meek Mill and Keisha Cole, two very successful artists. Obviously, Keisha Cole's an R&B artist. Meek Mill is a hip-hop artist. And both of these artists, man, they've had hit songs. You know, they've had albums and songs that have performed well on the Billboard charts. And both of these artists have been in the game for over 10 years. They've stayed relevant, you know, for a long time. Obviously, Keisha Cole's music is not that relevant. Her newer music, but, you know, she has classic music that, you know, to this day you still hear, you know, her records being played on the radio. Meek Mill is still relevant in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? He may not be one of the top artists, but, you know, Meek Mill still, you know, for how long he's been in the game, man, he's still relevant. He's still able to sell records. And he still has a, you know, a presence in hip hop for sure. You know, I think there's no denying that in my opinion. But both of these artists, man, are basically saying that they don't make any money off of their music. They're not making money off of their singles, and they're not making any money off of their albums. Now, I'm shocked. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? I'm not surprised that Keisha Cole isn't making money off of her music, because Keisha Cole came out in like 2006 when artists around that time were still receiving slave deals. So I'm not surprised that Keisha Cole doesn't make money off her music. Obviously, she doesn't own her masters and she doesn't own her publishing. And she should have hired a lawyer, and she should have tried to take her record label to court to see if she could possibly, you know, get some ownership in her music. So that's just bad business on Keisha Cole's part. But Meek Mill, I'm extremely shocked, y'all, that Meek Mill is publicly claiming that he's not making any money off of his music, because, you know, Meek Mill is signed to Rick Ross. He's signed to MMG. And MMG has MMG is distributed through Atlantic Records. Now, prior to that, I do know that MMG was with Warner Brother Records, and they ended up leaving Warner Brother Records, and then they ended up going with Atlantic. But, you know, I've always looked at Rick Ross as a good businessman, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know, him having MMG, at one point he had, you know, Omarion, you know, Meek Mill, Wale, Stally, Rocky Fresh. He had all of those dudes, you know, signed to his label. And now the only two artists that I know that signed to MMG is, you know, Meek Mill and Wale. So, you know, Rick Ross, I remember when Lil Wayne was trying to drop the Carter 5, I remember Rick Ross was very vocal about, you know, dissing Birdman and telling Birdman to let Lil Wayne out the contract. And, you know, he was just going in on Birdman, basically saying, you know, let Lil Wayne out the deal. You know, if you want some money, I'll pay you to, you know, get Lil Wayne out that deal. You know what I'm saying? And he was very vocal in defending Lil Wayne. So it's crazy to me how Rick Ross was talking about Birdman not paying Lil Wayne and not letting him out the deal, and now you hear Meek Mill, who is signed to Rick Ross, saying that he's not making any money off of his music. So basically, he doesn't own his masters, he doesn't own his publishing. You know, now I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right? Most artists that sign to a major record label does not own their masters or their publishing, right? But you would think, with all the information in the world, with all the artists that have publicly came out for decades, man, saying that they weren't making money and they weren't getting paid properly, you would think that they would at least own 50% of their masters, or, you know, they would have a percentage to where whenever their music comes out, they get a cut of that. But, you know, obviously these artists are still signing these deals, and they're not really looking at the legalities, if that's even a word. They're not really looking at the legalities and the paperwork of what's going on in their contract. And, you know, by the time they realize they're getting fucked in the ass as far as, you know, their deals, there's nothing they can do. They just got to keep getting fucked in the ass until the contract is up. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, bro. Like, I just never thought that Rick Ross would do something like that. But obviously, you know, there's two sides to every story. And, you know, I'm waiting for Rick Ross to speak on this because I'm pretty sure that Rick Ross is going to respond to this at some point. I want to hear what Rick Ross has to say because we've never heard Wale come out publicly and say that he's not getting paid off of his records and shit like that. And he's still signed to Rick Ross as well, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? But I'm shocked, man. I'm just shocked. And I know that Meek Mill, for the past year has been, you know, talking about wanting to get out his deal and how he's basically, you know, just trying to put out the rest of the projects that he has on his contract so he can, you know, be an independent artist, man, and figure out what he wants to do next, man. But, you know, Meek Mill has had so much success on MMG. And I just thought that, you know, Rick Ross, you know, being a guy that, you know, owns a bunch of wing stops and has his own liquor and just seems like a very good businessman. I'm just shocked to see how his artist, his most popular artist, Meek Mill, isn't making any money off of his music. So he basically has to go on tour. He has to make sure that he makes the right investments. He has to make sure that he makes, you know, some good endorsement deals. Because if not, you know, he's not going to make any money off the music, man. So I'm shocked, bruh. That's all I really got to say. Let me know what y'all think about this situation. It's your boy Wavy. I'm out. Let's get it.